6 months gone, not paused, not saved for later, gone. And now you're here, looking back at half a year of delays, distractions, decisions you never made, and dreams you never chased. You might say you were waiting for the right moment, for clarity, for life to calm down. But let's tell the truth, you weren't waiting, you were hiding. And life, it doesn't pause for people who hide, it promotes the ones who move through the fog anyway. Most people think change is a single cinematic moment, a decision made with fireworks in the background and music swelling. But change, real lasting change, it's quiet, it's boring, it's built in the moments when no one's watching, the early alarm you don't snooze, the workout you finish when no one's clapping, the budget you follow when your friends are out spending, the book you read instead of scrolling. It's not about flipping your life upside down, it's about stopping the slow decay you've let continue for half a year. Here's what hurts the most. You knew January was hype, February was fragile, March got away from you, April blurred into excuses, May was your I'll try again soon, and June, that was your final warning and you missed it. But this moment right now, it's not guilt, it's a decision point. You either double down on distraction or you declare war on your wasted potential. Let's make something clear. The problem isn't time. You had time. You still do. What you didn't have was ownership. You let circumstances dictate your discipline. You let moods kill your momentum. You let comfort convince you to settle. And the worst part, you talked yourself into it. You built a defense for your mediocrity, called it self-care, called it being realistic, called it going through something. But excuses, even dressed in psychology, are still chains, and you've been wearing them like jewelry. Think about the version of you that could have emerged by now, the one who kept the promises, who didn't negotiate with their excuses, who trained when it hurt, studied when it bored them, worked when it wasn't fun. That version is real, and every time you quit, they fall further behind. Every time you scroll instead of build, they blur. Every time you rationalize, they rot. That version doesn't live in fantasy. They live on the other side of discipline. But that's a place most never reach, because most people aren't willing to be uncomfortable long enough to meet themselves. Look around you. The world is built by those who locked in for 6 months. 6 months of obsession, of isolation, of single-minded focus. The bodies you envy, 6 months of training, the wealth you dream about, 6 months of strategy, the clarity you beg for, 6 months of brutal honesty and silence. People become unrecognizable when they commit for half a year, but you blinked and let that window close. And now you have 2 options, cry about it or reopen it. The next 6 months aren't a concept, they're a countdown. December is coming whether you're ready or not. And the you that shows up in December will be a reflection of what you do now. Lazy days create last place lives. Focused days create freedom. You're not behind, you're just unprepared. But you can fix that if and only if you stop letting life happen to you and start happening to life. The clock doesn't care how you feel. It won't slow down because you're tired. It won't pause because you're heartbroken. It won't rewind because you made mistakes. Time is merciless, but it's also fair. Because while it won't give you back what you wasted, it'll multiply what you use now. If you give these next 6 months everything, it will echo for years. But if you coast, if you see how it goes, you already know how it goes. It goes nowhere. No more half-built goals. No more inspirational videos without implementation. No more lists without action. No more treating your dreams like hobbies. You don't get a new life in December unless you kill the old one now. Kill the doubt. Kill the excuses. Kill the comfort that's slowly killing you. Your life is a strategy, not a sentence. And if you keep living by default, you'll keep getting default results. Safe, predictable, empty. And if you think discipline is hard, try regret. Try waking up in December with the same problems you had in July. Try looking at your bank account, your mirror, your relationships, and realizing you stayed the same. Not because you couldn't change, but because you wouldn't. Because you chose convenience over consequence. That's not life, that's slow death. And you're better than that, or at least you were supposed to be. There are two versions of you fighting right now. One wants comfort, the other wants change. One keeps saying, I'll do it tomorrow. The other knows tomorrow is a liar. And here's the truth. Only one of them is walking into 2026 with power. The other, forgotten. Another body lost in the graveyard of wasted potential. The reason your life hasn't changed isn't because the world is against you. It's because you've been sabotaging yourself in secret. You talk about wanting success, but you've built rituals around failure. You start things with fire, but finish them in ashes. You chase dopamine instead of discipline. You let your habits rot and then wonder why your confidence did the same. It's not mystery, it's math. You are the sum of your repetitions, and your repetition pattern is killing your future. You've convinced yourself that motivation is supposed to feel good. It's not. Real motivation is disgust. It's the moment you look around your life and feel sick, not depressed, not hopeless, but sick enough to do something. Sick enough to cancel the party, sick enough to block the distractions, sick enough to finally break the damn loop. Because until you're that sick of your own story, you'll keep playing the same character, the one who almost did something with their life. Most people never fix their lives because they romanticize rock bottom. They wait to be broken enough to justify action. But what if you moved before the breakdown? What if you didn't need a tragedy to transform? What if clarity didn't come from collapse, but from conscious decision? That's the kind of person who changes, the one who doesn't need pain to force growth, the one who grows because they're done tolerating their own mediocrity. You know what people get wrong about time? They think it heals. No. Time reveals. Time reveals who's lying to themselves, who's doing the work, who's pretending. 6 months from now, you won't be lucky. You'll be exposed, either as the person who rebuilt themselves or the person who said next year will be different for the 5th time. And the most dangerous thing about that lie, it's believable. It feels like hope. It smells like progress, but it's poison. A beautiful cage dressed in the language of self-love. You're not burned out, you're underbuilt, your body isn't tired, it's undisciplined, your mind isn't overwhelmed, it's undertrained, your goals aren't too far, your actions are too weak, and that's fixable. But only if you admit it, only if you stop pretending that you're fine. You're not fine, you're frustrated, you're restless, you're underachieving, and the worst part, you know it. This isn't about hustle culture. This isn't about working 20 hours a day. This is about earning your peace, because peace that isn't earned turns into boredom, and boredom turns into chaos. You keep trying to meditate your way out of a life you built through avoidance. That's not healing. That's spiritual procrastination. You want a calm mind? Build a life that doesn't require escape. Every morning you wake up, you're either becoming your future or betraying it. You're either casting votes for a life that expands you or one that buries you. The gym isn't just about fitness. It's proof that you showed up. Reading isn't about knowledge. It's proof that you still care. Saying no to distractions isn't just willpower, it's identity. Every choice you make whispers something to your future self. And right now, your future is listening. Don't forget what's at stake. You're not just losing time, you're losing momentum. And momentum is the currency of transformation. Once it's gone, rebuilding it takes triple the energy. That's why most people never get back up. Not because they can't, but because the restart feels impossible. So don't let yourself fall all the way. Interrupt it now, while you still have breath, while your heart still hurts a little when you think about who you could have been. You don't need a 30-step plan. You need one thing, a refusal to die average. Not someday, not when it's convenient now, because every second you hesitate, someone else is turning their pain into power. And when December comes, no one will care how hard it was. They'll just look at what you became. So make that version undeniable. Make your transformation violent. Make the new you so disciplined, so dangerous, so laser focused that even your old self wouldn't recognize you. Success doesn't come with fireworks. It arrives in silence. It doesn't knock, it watches. Watches how you act. And no one's filming. Watches who you are when the world isn't looking. And if what you do in the dark doesn't match what you scream in the light, you'll keep chasing illusions while others build empires. Because real growth doesn't announce itself. It accumulates. You're addicted to noise, notifications, opinions, podcasts, advice. But clarity lives in quiet. And silence is where the real ones separate. Because when you shut the world out, you're finally forced to hear the truth. Your habits are soft, your focus is fractured, your urgency is fake, and your priorities are pathetic. But that's not a curse. That's an opportunity to stop pretending and start producing. Most people don't lack potential. They lack a routine that respects it. They spend more time planning than executing, more time fantasizing than becoming. They turn 6 months into a cycle of almost consistent, almost committed, almost ready. But you're done with almost. Almost doesn't build legacies. Almost doesn't pay bills. Almost doesn't earn respect. You either are or you aren't. And in these next 6 months, the line will be drawn. You want confidence? Do hard things, not once, not when it's convenient, daily. Confidence is the result of private victories, the reps no one sees, the disciplines no one claps for. It's walking into a room and needing no validation because you already gave yourself permission. You've been outsourcing belief to the world. That ends now. You don't need more applause. You need more proof. Proof that you kept going when it wasn't easy. Proof that your word actually means something. You keep waiting for your life to align before you act. But alignment isn't something you wait for, it's something you force. You build alignment through discipline. By saying no to distractions that feel good and yes to discomfort that builds you. You don't get to feel aligned when your actions scream betrayal. You're misaligned because your habits are cheating on your goals. Look around. Everyone wants the shortcut, the hack, the quantum leap. But shortcuts don't build character, and hacks don't make you unshakable. You want to be dangerous? Start doing boring things consistently. Wake up early without a camera watching. Study without broadcasting it. Save money when no one's impressed by it. Master things that no one claps for. That's how you become a problem. Not by being loud, but by being undeniable. The next 6 months are a mirror. And the question isn't, what do I want? It's, what am I willing to sacrifice? Because what you want is irrelevant if you're not willing to bleed for it. You say you want freedom? Then give up comfort. You say you want change? Then give up convenience. You say you want discipline? Then give up distractions. Stop trying to keep everything and evolve. You don't grow by addition, you grow by subtraction. Let others waste time chasing aesthetics. You'll build substance. Let them post their highlight reels. You'll build an unshakable foundation. Let them count followers. You'll count character traits. Because while they're obsessed with being seen, that you're becoming someone worth seeing. And by December, the difference will be visible, not just in what you do, but in who you are. You will walk differently, speak differently, think differently, not because you changed your style, but because you changed your standard. And standards are the invisible architecture of success. When you raise them, everything else rises. Your discipline, your income, your energy, your circle. Most people lower their standards to match their environment. You'll raise your environment to match your new standards, and that starts now. You will lose people. You will be misunderstood. You will be judged, but that's the price of elevation. Growth is not a group activity. You weren't meant to carry everyone with you. You weren't meant to explain every move. You were meant to evolve, and evolution is lonely, but it's honest. And the people who survive that silence, they're the ones who build lives the world can't ignore. So kill the urge to prove nothing, build everything, because proof isn't in your words, it's in your results. And 6 months from now, the world will ask what happened, and you won't need to say a thing. Your presence will answer for you. You don't get this time back. That's the cruel truth. July through December isn't a bonus round. It's your last shot at making this year mean something. And if you don't change now, you won't magically change next year. You'll just carry your same patterns into 2026. More tired, more bitter, and more buried in excuses you handcrafted with your own logic. But here's the beauty in that truth. If you do change, if you commit without apology, you won't recognize your life by December. Because the gap between who you are and who you could be, it's not measured in years, it's measured in consistency. The version of you that commands respect, earns peace, breathes power. They're not far. They're just buried under 6 months of nonsense. You've convinced yourself is normal. And make this clear to yourself. You are not chasing potential anymore. You're exposing it. Every day you show up when it's boring, when it's lonely, when it's thankless, you're digging, not for gold, for self. You're unearthing the savage, focused, unshakable version of you that this world has never seen because you've been too polite, too patient, too distracted to let them out. This is not a transformation for applause. This is a transformation for freedom because you know what's on the other side of 6 months of locked-in discipline silence, not emptiness, peace. You stop arguing with yourself. You stop negotiating with fear. You stop explaining your choices to people who don't even respect theirs. You walk different, not louder, but heavier, with presence, with certainty, with alignment. You stop hoping, you start knowing. And don't get it twisted. This isn't about being perfect. You'll slip, you'll stall, but the difference now, you don't stay down, you don't rebuild from scratch every time. You keep moving. You don't identify with failure, you override it because you're not the person who drowns in doubt anymore. You're the one who fights in silence and bleeds for standards no one else understands. Let them doubt you, let them whisper, let them scroll past, because soon your results will be louder than their opinions. And the same people ignoring your grind today will be quoting your discipline tomorrow. But that's not why you do it. You do it because something inside you is clawing its way to the surface, something that refuses to be average, something that's tired of watching others live the life you were born to build. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You're not too late. You're just undisciplined. And undisciplined doesn't mean doomed. It means directionless. But now you have a direction, you have a reason, and you've run out of excuses. You've seen what 6 months of drifting gets you. Now it's time to see what 6 months of domination will bring. You don't need motivation, you need rage. Not at the world, at the part of you that keeps settling. Rage at the voice that says you'll never change. Rage at the patterns you keep repeating out of comfort. Rage at the fear you've let drive the car for too long. Rage that fuels focus. Rage that forges a new identity. Rage that doesn't scream, it executes. This isn't for everyone. Most will scroll past. Most will agree with the words but change nothing. Most will wait for another video, another month, another year, but not you, not this time. You didn't come this far to stay hidden. You didn't survive everything just to exist quietly. You came to rise, and rising requires one thing: decision. So decide now, not tomorrow, not when it's easier, not when you feel ready. Decide right now that this is your era of obsession, your era of discipline, your era of becoming undeniable. Because if you don't, the next 6 months will blur like the last, and all that'll be left is another December full of regret and broken resolutions dressed in nostalgia. You have 6 months to ruin your reputation with the old you, 6 months to kill your distractions, to rebuild your name, to shock your circle, to silence your demons, to become a problem that mediocrity no longer knows how to solve. And it starts with a choice, one no one can make for you, one you don't need permission to make. So what's it going to be? Stay average or disappear into the grind so deeply that the version of you that emerges on December 31st makes the current you feel like a stranger?